Good evening, everybody. I am Brittany Kuhlman, and this is my Module 1 Various Communication Forms for EDL 856. So first, a little bit about myself, education-wise. I am from Southwest Kansas. I went to the University of Kansas in 2015, well, from 2011 to 2015, and got my degree in athletic training. Following that degree, I worked as a graduate assistant athletic trainer for the University of Central Missouri and got my master's degree in education with teaching certificate. And then I got to come back to my hometown, and now I'm teaching and being an athletic trainer. And then just this last year, I decided to go ahead and do my building principal endorsement. I'm not doing the full master's degree, but since I don't have any kids currently, I thought I'd get it out of the way so that way when the time comes, it's already done. And this is actually my last class before I start my practicum. So, a little bit about my teaching history. I started at Kenneth Henderson Middle School as an eighth grade science teacher. I was there for 3 years. It was really cool because that's the middle school I went to growing up. Um, but following the COVID year, the high school, they had a position open to teach body systems and sports medicine, so more health related sciences, which is what I love. So I went ahead and transferred up to Garden City High School, and I've been there. I'll be starting my third year in August. And so here's some pictures. The first picture over here in the bottom left is a picture of the high school. We're in Southwest Kansas. We have about 2,200 students, and we're academy based. So we have the freshman academy. They kind of just stay off in their own little cluster. They don't really branch out of that academy very much. So that way they can just get used to high school. And then next to it is the public service academy. So in that academy, they offer classes that are like child development, public safety, law enforcement, teaching, business. I'm currently housed in the Arts and Communications Academy, which doesn't necessarily make sense because I'm teaching two health related classes, but that's where they had an open room. So we offer more classes that are interior design, culinary, broadcasting, and so forth. And then the last academy is the Trade and Health Academy, which we have small engines, welding, um, health careers investigations, anatomy, physiology, all those kinds of things. Here are some pictures of what I do in my classroom. So the picture next to the high school is my sports medicine class. We were doing a heat illness simulation with a taco kit. And so during the fall, we do lots of heat illness problems. And so it was really fun to go outside, put one of the students in the tarp and simulate how we do rapid cooling. The next picture is my body systems class. We were talking about skin burns. So we just took some Vaseline, cocoa powder, and fake blood and made burns on each other. And we talked about how we could treat them. Um, the next picture is just a picture of my classroom. I do typically have the lights off in my classroom. I think I'm going to switch that next year to have half of them on, just because I don't have any windows in my classroom. So it seems like it's darker throughout the day. I don't know if that makes sense. And then the last picture on the top, the girl on the far right, that is Maddie Silva. She is our head athletic trainer for the high school. And then I'm the assistant. We do run a student athletic training program through our school. And so that's some of our girls that were helping us during football season. And then just a little more about me. I just got engaged last week, actually. We were in Florida, and it's so weird to say fiance. He proposed, and we have 3 dogs together. So the little one that says my parents are getting married with the bandana, that's Blair. She is originally my dog. I've had her for 10 years. Jax is our yellow lab. He is you can see with the corn sticking out of his mouth, he's just an absolute nutcracker. And then Dag is our black lab. He is just a little golden boy, doesn't ever get in trouble. We live in Lake in Kansas, which is about 30 miles west of Garden City. Ryan works primarily in Syracuse or Holly, Colorado, so that was kind of our middle point. He's also originally from Lincoln. But so now we are in the process of wedding planning, remodeling our house, and me finishing up my last few months in this program. The last picture in that top right, I went to Colorado right when school got out, and me and my friend Sarah, we did the Manitou Incline, and it was absolutely like terrible, but so cool at the same time. So I enjoy going to Colorado and doing hiking and doing outdoor activities. All right, so for various forms of communications, communications used in my school district include digital. We use social media, so we have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, an Instagram page. We also use Remind. It's like a text messaging app that usually all of our sporting groups, teams, they have their own class, and then we can have a class for our students. So if I'm out sick, I can send a remind to all of my classes like, hey, I'm out sick, you're going to have a sub. And then we also use Sky Alert, but that's mainly for attendance through our grade book. So we've had a lot of truancy issues within this last year, and so if a student gets 11 tardies, then they are in ISS, and our school will send out a Sky Alert to alert those parents, hey, your student will be in ISS because of truancy. We also do written communications, letters that are sent home. Referrals are typically mailed to the parents, as well as positive referrals. Permission slips. If we have an incident at the school, there's usually a letter drafted that is sent to the parents of that school as well. And then we also do a lot of oral communication, face-to-face conversations within the building, and phone conversations. Again, some of the tools that are used for that communication, we have the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Each of our schools has their own page, as well as our district has a page. And then that Remind app is a texting communication for our schools and sports. We use it for snow days. So if we get a snow day, we have arts and communications remind that will say snow day, don't come. And then again, Skyward or the Sky Alert is used for attendance. We do a ton of email interaction. I included that with digital on the last slide. That's probably one of the main ways that we communicate. And then athletic events, we will make announcements about other events that are going on within the school as well. The importance of introductions. So some of the things I took away from those 3 articles was the first one, be a storyteller. Create that empathy with the person who's listening to you. You form a better connection. I'm personally horrible at that. I'm not a huge small talk type of person, and I feel like to be a storyteller, you need to kind of be more in a small talk personality. And I struggle with that. So I thought that was interesting. Stating what you want to be known for. I also thought that was interesting too, because, like I want to be a principal. So when I would introduce myself as I am the principal, I find it weird that they want you to change beyond your title and explain what you're doing. So I thought that was very interesting. Again, going beyond your title, explaining what your job is without saying I am the principal. When I read that, I immediately shut down from reading and started thinking, how could I change the way I introduce myself without saying I'm a teacher, I'm an athletic trainer, I'm a principal. And I still don't really know. I don't have a perfect way of doing that. That's something that I'm going to have to work on over the next couple of weeks and see if I can figure out a better way to introduce myself rather than just stating my job title. And then lastly, just remembering that your first impression is the lasting impression. And that's huge because it's so true. I know that there are people that have made bad first impressions with me, and that's still how I see them, as that first bad impression, which is terrible. I really need to work on that and see them beyond that first impression. But they're huge. That, again, it's your first impression of them. That's what you see. That's how you build off of their relationship with them. Introducing myself as a new building leader, I would like to do it in person with my staff, whether that's like a professional development day, um, new teacher in service, whatever. I'd like to introduce myself in person, but also I'd like to introduce myself in person with families if they're coming to an open house for that school. Getting to know your parents, shaking hands. Um, I could also make like a pre recorded video that could go on either social media or a district website that says, hey, we got a new principal. Here's a little message from her. And then also you could send letters home explaining what your vision is of that school, how you plan on going forward for the rest of the year, and just so everybody gets to know you a little better. Currently, Garden City Public Schools does not have a policy on how to communicate with its stakeholders. My current principal, she does give us some goals with communication. She calls it the 3-2-1 challenge. So, making 3 positive phone calls to parents, 2 positive referrals for students, and then spotlight a colleague, basically a positive referral for a colleague. Um, and the goal for that is because a lot of times when we're calling parents, it's because their kid did something bad, and we want to help them to not ignore our phone calls to where we're only leaving voicemails, and that they might be getting a positive interaction and get to hear that their students are doing positive things in school. This assignment relates to the standard by allowing me to review the resources on various forms of communication and understand the importance of each. This assignment promotes the future success of students and staff by allowing me to understand how to make proper introductions and then how to communicate with them. This assignment was relevant to my learning because as a future school principal, I will be doing a lot of communicating. This assignment has allowed me to understand the various forms of communication as well as how to approach that communication when introducing myself to stakeholders. And then for my reflection, after completing this assignment, I realized that I should change the way I introduce myself to people. After reading the article from Cutricella, I immediately started to think of a better way to introduce myself. And I still haven't really came up with a better way. But I believe that if I find that better way to introduce myself, not only to my staff members, but to students, they would see that positive change or impact when looking into education as a career, or if you're changing the way that you're introducing yourself beyond your title, they'll see that you're having a positive um, outlook on your career, and it could change your culture within your school as people being more positive. And there are my references. Thank you.